Well, hello everybody. How's it going? Let's see who we got in here. Wilmer, John, Schuylkill River, Dwight. How you doing? Derail Daryl. Good to see you. Martin Searsma. How's it going? Let's see who else we got in here. Steve. How you doing? Joe Rader. And that's it. Good to see everybody. I hope you're ready for some. Hope you're ready for some scenery stuff tonight. Yep, yep. We got stuff. I got stuff done. I didn't sit idly by all week. So so I want to warn you because I always warn people. This computer is stupid, and every once in a while it drops the internet connection. So when it does, and you can tell everybody else this, when it does drop the internet connection, just wait for me. It'll take me 2 or 3 minutes to get back on, but I will get back on. So. Mystic John, how's it going? Dave, BNNSF. Good to see you. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm sure your trees look great, Joe. I'm sure they look fine. So I'll wait just a couple more minutes, make sure everybody gets in here. We're up to 14 now. Wigwag, how you doing? The Wrecking Ball, huh? Did he get a new name I didn't know about? Yeah, everybody said they wanted to see scenery stuff, so they better show up. That's all I can say. It's new to you, huh? And I'll just make a reminder at the beginning, don't forget to watch Dave next week at the Crooked River in Easton. And it'll be his turn, the 4th. And don't forget the special show on the fifth Tuesday of the month this month. We got 5 Tuesdays this month, so don't forget the special show with Uncle Wilmer. Jim Tedesco, how you doing? I think I have said hello to everybody so far. Wade Cranes, how you doing? Got some dust in my nose. I've been pulling dusty stuff out from under the layout to do all my scenery stuff. I hope you didn't miss anyone either. Well, so I guess, we're 5 minutes in now. So, hey, Kyle, how's it going? So, I guess I'll get started. So, I did a live stream laying the track. So I have my 4 tracks here. So what I have done is I wired my track, then I painted it, and then I laid my asphalt down here, so everybody can see that. And I just did my asphalt with this stuff. I kind of like this stuff better than what I've used before, so that's what I used this time. It's very moist and it spreads easier. So I kind of like using it. So that's what I used this time. This is just their regular spackling paste. So we'll see how well it holds up over the years. Hey, Dwayne, how's it going? Good to see you. So once I got it down, I painted it with this stuff. I always love this stuff. That is Krylon Stone, the fine texture. Fine texture is great for HO scale. I wouldn't use the coarse for HO. But I hope y'all can see how it looks here. So just the piggyback track is going to be in asphalt. The other 2 tracks will be in some form of ballast. The ballast that I'm going to use is going to be a combination. I'm going to be using a combination of dirt, of tile grout, and some number 50 ballast from Scenic Express. So the number 50 is about what you'd use for in scale normally. So it would be, in HO, it's about an inch rock is what it would be. If you've seen yards, especially down south, older yards, a lot of the tracks are buried in just real fine stuff. They're not buried in regular ballast. And I imagine it's just because it gets worn down and never gets replaced over the years. But that's what I'm going to try to emulate. Also, a lot of bushes and grass and that kind of garbage. State can afford to turn potholes into pumps. Why does my track look pink? I don't know. That's just a camera anomaly, I think. I did put some rust down. And I'm going to move the camera. And let's see if I get up next to it. Now, see, it doesn't look pink when I get up next to it. So it's just something kind of weird with the camera. So this is my See if I can get it to focus. I don't know how well it focuses in there. Okay, so see, there's my track that I painted. So just real quick, I'll tell you how I painted it. Got my makeup. Hey Dave, how you doing? Ian, how's it going? And I'm in Dave Crooked River in Eastern because I think I said hi to Dave BNSF already. Hey Anthony, how's it going? Good to see you. So the way I did my track. So I start out with a base of raw umber, just that stuff, the Model Master stuff. See if it's in. I don't know if my camera will focus that close. I guess it doesn't. But anyway, that's the base I used. First, let me tell you, I sprayed it with a flat lacquer first, and that was to give something the paint to give the something so the paint could bite onto it. So I sprayed it with flat lacquer first, and then the raw umber is the base. So after the raw umber, I took this little set of pastels that I got from Hobby Lobby, and you can use any brand, it doesn't matter. So I used the orange rust one with a brush. I just took a small paintbrush and brushed against the rails, and so that took care of the rails and the tie plates. Okay, let me set the camera straight here. So once I took care of the rails and the tie plates, I went over the ties with a light gray and a dark gray. So light gray first and then the dark gray. Same way, I just took the pastels and did it. When you do that, you'll get a little bit of the gray on the tie plates. So I just went back with the same brush I used and just kind of brushed away the gray, and that left the orange rust on the tie plate. So the orange rust isn't overwhelming with the pastels, and that's one reason I wanted to use it. See, I used orange rust paint on that, and you see it's kind of too orange. So that's why I used the pastels, and I think it just gives a good highlight effect on the rails. And then after I did it all with the pastels, I just sprayed it again with flat lacquer. And then, of course, scrubbed the top of the rails real good, so electricity will flow through them. So anyway, that's how the rails got painted. And of course, you kind of want to do that first before you lay ballast. Now, once again, when you lay the ballast, the dust from the ballast is going to get on top of the ties and all, so it'll add another layer of color to it. So that's it. That is not that's not a fast way of doing it. That's just after experimenting multiple times. That's the effect I wanted. That's how I got it. So, and it's not the only way to do it. So that's just the way I did mine. All right, who else jumped in? Randall Ellison, how's it going? Happy, how you doing? I think I got everybody else. All right. So, any questions on painting the track? No? Yes? Anybody saying, hey, that's completely stupid? Right. Yeah, and that's what I did, Dave. I airbrushed it first with that raw umber, and then used the pastels for the rails. Good. All right. So what we're gonna do, uh, and of course, after I got that done, and I didn't my feeders first, my track feeders first, before I painted anything. So good connection. Get a good connection there first. Yeah, I know, John. Trying to paint individual ties. I didn't paint any individual ties. I felt the pastel gave them enough variation in color. So, I mean, I could go along and paint some a little bit grayer, maybe, but I think this looks fine. Once like I said, once the ballast gets on there, the dust from that will coat the ties anyway and give it a little bit grayer appearance. So, all right. So, what are we going to do for now? I want to tell you this scenery I'm going to do tonight. I'm doing this all off the top of my head. I kind of have a plan and kind of don't. So, there's a good chance I'm going to screw something up. Believe me. So, um, I've got my Elmer's glue. Now, the first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put some bushes in this area over here. And for bushes, I've got several things. I've got some dry vines from JTT, and I've got some of this stuff from Woodland Scenics. I think it was like this. I think it was the forest canopy stuff. No, maybe not. Nope, it wasn't the forest canopy. So anyway, I've got some bushes here, and I've got all my stuff out here. It's in the way now. I lined it up for the camera. So now I'm going to get it out of the way. And my dirt, here's my dirt, and I just dug this up from around here. So. All right, let's see what I can do first with this. I'm just going to line this. With some of these bushes. Yeah, they're just bushes and shrubs are all they are. And the reason I'm putting them down first is because I am going to put ballast down, and because I kind of want it to look like they're growing up through the ballast. Is you got to make sure they're don't get into or inhibit the path of your train. That's the problem. Now I'm going to start poking holes. So you got to be careful too about what colors you're putting in, based on if you're operating a certain time of year. My layout is going to be September. So September around here is kind of like summer still. It's like summer anywhere else. So. I think I'm going to use some of these dry vines because there are times in September that things have dried out too. I'm just going to take some of the stuff and sprinkle on there. I think I've moved my camera down so y'all can see better what I'm doing. All right. Hope that's better. And I really like this stuff from JTT. I think it's really good. You know what I need to do is I need to get the railroad car in here just to make sure. That I'm not getting too close to the track. Here we go. All right. Also, what you might want to do, I can find some. Let's take a few drops of glue and spread it around on top of some of your stuff. And take some of this foam from another color and mix it in. You normally don't want the differences too stark in color, but adding a different shade or a slightly different color really kind of sets it off some. Yeah, different colors really make a big difference. All right. And I have even yet another color I can kind of put in there. It's almost the same color. Not exactly. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. And I always want to keep checking. I have this little bush here, but I don't think it's gonna, it's almost touching, but I think it'll be okay. All right, what do I want to do next? So what I can do, and I have to be real careful with this. Trying to think about static grass, but I think I'll do some ground foam first. And what I'll do is get this back here. I'm gonna take I have a couple little paint brushes here. So what I'm gonna do, some glue out. And spread it around. And I know we're not going to have time to do much of this tonight, but I do want to do as much as we can. Get at least a little section done, so it looks like I got something accomplished. So I've got oh, I'm just gonna spread this around. And the key to scenery is always different colors and different textures. And even if you look in a pasture that has this all green grass, you'll see different textures and different shades of grass and things like that in it. And this ground foam is good if you want short grass. I'm going to sprinkle this now. Sprinkle that into the glue. Now I have another color here. This is called burnt grass. Burnt grass is good around here for August and September because that's what it is. Now there was another. Oh yeah, this one is now a little bit brighter shade of green. So this just kind of gives you some highlights. I'm going to pat it down into the glue, but I'm also going to glue it on top too in just a minute. And of course I've got a crack here where I did my cork. So the crack is going to be covered up with vines and bushes. So I will go along the crack. start putting little bushes in and shrubs and things like that. And that's how you hide mistakes. Because I make plenty of mistakes. So when you make mistakes, it's good to learn how to hide them. You might not need to do any static grass along here. Have more foam here, this coarse. Oops. So in this yard, between the passenger track, which is just used for storage because of the year, you kind of let it go out of maintenance a little bit. So there you go. So now you can kind of see how it's going to look. Let's see, any questions so far? Thanks, Jim. Okay, so Wigwag wants to know why I don't paint the basin earth tone before. Because I wanted to paint it closer to the ballast color than I did to the earth tone. That's why. So this is going to be closer to the ballast color. So I've used a combination. I think this box, I think it was trees and shrubs or something like that. It was a Woodland Scenics. And then I also used JT&T dry vines and dead foliage. And I've used some coarse foam, different colors, and also some grass. I'm sorry, not grass, but some fine ground foam. And I just use several colors. I get here's a foliage cluster from JT&T called light green. I just use a combination of things, but what I try to do is get different shades, but not something that's really a stark difference. Okay, you just kind of want highlights and things like that. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put the fine foam on top of the bushes, the coarse ground foam, and that just gives it some highlights and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now, first of all, let me just drag my car through here. Make sure I'm not too close to the tracks. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to lay some ballast. What I'm using for ballast is two different things. I've got regular ballast, and I've mixed my own colors, so it's mostly gray, but I do have some other stuff in there. I also have this. This is grout. It's just a gray colored grout. And then some number 50 ballast from Scenic Express, so it's real fine. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see, what am I going to do? So let me get my spray bottle. Yeah, and Roy, that's a good question. I think it's just a preference. The reason I'm putting the foliage and stuff down first is I want it to look like it's growing up through the ballast. So I'm going to come along here with my wet water first. It's just water with a little bit of alcohol and a drop of dish soap. And you don't want to try to do too big of an area at one time. So let me put my my ballast down first. Hold on. Hold on, let me get my spoon. All right. Now this is kind of a mixed stuff. This has got some grout in it and some fine ballast. So. I shouldn't have wet it first. I didn't mean to do that. It's not paying attention to what I'm doing. So you want to tap and it kind of gets it off of the ties. But in this case, in a yard, the rails are usually buried deep in the ballast. So just want to make sure it's not where it's going to inhibit any rolling stock. That's the big thing. And remember the grout will just set with water. It doesn't need any glue, but I'll put glue on it anyway. And the good thing is you can cover Cover up your holes from your feeder wires and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get it. So see now with the putting the ballast on last, it kind of looks like the foliage is growing up out of the ballast. And this is a tedious job if you want to do it right. You know, I guess there's really no quick way to put down ballast really well. It's just going to take time. But at this point, what my goal is the end result. And the end result I want is for you to not be able to tell the difference between my track and looking at the real thing. That's my goal. I might not accomplish it, but that's the goal. So I'm just going to try to so you can see how much the base color looks like the ballast color. And that's why I did it that color. I'm not going to completely fill this up with this type. You can take anything you want and tap on it. All that does is it gets the ballast down in between the ties. Huh. Just want to make sure it's not up on the rails. That's the big thing. Now, a real common form of dirt, and I want to use this sparsely, but you do see it down here a lot, is this red dirt. That's where the Red River gets its name from, because of all the red clay that's in it. And so I'm going to accent it with this kind of dirt. I don't want a lot of it, but I do want it to be noticeable. Because you will see it in yards around here anyway. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this light tan colored dirt. Same. All right. I fell out. Didn't everybody? How long was I gone? Hey, trackside Mike. So hopefully I wasn't gone too long. Okay, good. That's good. So you missed some of what I was doing. What I was trying to say when I was so rudely interrupted by my internet is, all right, I've got the ballast in. I've made sure that I've got a good roll of my wheels, so there's nothing blocking that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the bottle up high, up here, and start misting from there. Because then that way it won't disturb the work as much. And then as I mist, I can get down lower and lower because I want a good wet area when I start putting my glue down. There. And you don't want to do too much of a section because you don't want the wet water to dry out, before the glue gets there. So, all right. So now I've got my glue, and I just got a little thing, and this is diluted glue. It's like maybe a little more than half water. And I'm going to bring the camera around here so you can see. So when I drop the glue in, it should spread out. You see how the glue's kind of spreading out, and that's what should happen. And no, don't do this quickly. Just, you see how it didn't drop out there, it spread out. So I'm just going to spray a little more wet water. And yes, I think you should do this very carefully and very slowly. And drop it on the bushes too. That'll give them a little extra security in there. And is there going to be loose stuff after you're done? Absolutely. You just pick it up, suck it up with a vacuum cleaner or whatever you want to do, and keep going. Yeah, giving a little extra shot over the top of the bushes will help secure them even more. So. And we can watch glue dry if we want. I'm sure y'all would love that. especially Steve, 87. Let me, all right. And everybody knows why we glue ballast down, so it won't get in your wheels and your mechanism of your engines. And you will have bare spots and mistakes once you're done with this. There's no doubt about that. So what you do is you just go back and clean them up and do that spot over. And you want to keep this good and wet. Because you want that glue to flow down into your scenery. And I'm holding the camera, and hopefully I'm holding it correctly. And you know what? Little rocks are going to float up against the side of your rail. And so you just clean it off. You just wait till the glue dries. Don't try to clean up things while the glue is drying. You'll just make a mess. Believe me. Okay. I'm going to do some drops into my grass that I put down. And that'll take a overnight to dry, but it'll look good in the morning. All right. So there's a little section I've done. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. You can see it looks like it snowed. So we've got, like I said, I've got ballast rocks floating up on top of the ties because of the glue, but don't worry about that. Just wait till it dries. Oops. Wait till it dries and don't let it, don't touch it while it's drying. Like I said, you'll just make more of a mess. Hey, Tom, Split Rock. I didn't see you. How you doing? Trackside Mike, thanks. See you, Pappy. So, any questions so far? That's the way I do some scenery. There will be, like I said, it's going to take overnight to dry, but I think it'll look okay once I'm done. There'll be some stuff I'll need to clean up, like I said, but that's normal. So, no questions, answers? Oh. See you, Chasco. I'm sorry I didn't see you before. Um, see if I missed anything. Okay. So you still, Anthony says, I still mix a little alcohol in my 50. Oh, yeah, I do too. Absolutely. Uh, my glue, it's kind of 50-50, but I've got a little bit of alcohol in it, maybe 10%, and then a drop of dish soap in the glue as well. So, yeah, Roy, it snowed on the layout. Why not cover the crack seams with painter's paper so stuff doesn't fall in the cracks? Why? Because I didn't. That's the only answer I can give you, Anthony. I didn't. It's probably would be a good idea to cover them, but I just didn't happen to do it. And the cracks, although they look bad, they're not very deep. They're only cracks in the cork, so they're only a quarter-inch deep is all they are. So I can fill it up with something. Yeah, Steve, I'll just leave the stream up so you can sit there and watch the glue dry. That's what I was gonna do. So the stream will be up all night just for Steve. Well, I just answered that, Wilmer, of course, like I told Anthony, because I just didn't. It probably would have been a good idea to to caulk some of that stuff, but like I said, it's not that deep anyway. It's only a quarter-inch deep, so um, and I can hide it with bushes and things like that. So. And I think this will look better. I wish I had more time, but yeah, time just kind of flies by. I only got a foot long, a little over a foot section done. Um, but I will. Hopefully, I'll get more done during the week. All right. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate everybody showing up. I hope maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow night just to show the results and see what. All right. Well, y'all take it easy, and I will see you later. Thanks, John. Y'all have a good evening.